मैं तो खाना मुझे तो खाने
अच्छी वो मनुष्य मैंने देखा वो ब्लूटूथ फोन लिया है वो हुआ नहीं मनुष्य तो गड़बड़ लग रहा है वो आई नहीं क्या अच्छा तो मैं देखा काफी नहीं देख रहा हूँ मैं सोच रहा था ये सोचते से तुम्हारा फोन है घर बुला दिया तो हो जाएगा। ये सैटरडे दीदी की छुट्टी नहीं आती। खाने का साफ हो बैठो सर। ठीक है, सेटिंग सही है। Good morning to everyone. So today again the Mmpc011 social process and behavioral issues. So today we have to revise all the blocks. There are 4 blocks. So all the 4 blocks of social process and behavioral issues that you have to revise and see the important areas or important units, some of the units, what type of questions are likely to be that you have to discuss. And finally, I have to discuss about the case studies. So I have already prepared on the case studies, and answer is also there. That what should be the answer and how to prepare for the case studies that we have to discuss. And I hope today's sessions it will be helpful for everybody and those who have missed earlier sessions. So here actually today I am planning to cover up all in total, just block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, and where important units and the areas that you have to discuss. So that it will be helpful for your exam point of view and for the preparation point of view, it will be helpful for the students. So As you know, the block one, there are three units. Basically, what is the organization, concept of the organizations, approaches, and evaluations, how it has come. So better I can straight away go to the block one. They are the basic things. That is the organizations. We have to clear our ideas. What are the organizations? As we know, the way the group of people are working together, collectively they are working, and for the common goals, they are this is your organizations. And what is the activity within the organization? There are coordination, delegation of the power, uh, capability, goal, and some precisions. There should be some job. What are the tasks will be there? This is all totally your organizations. Behavior in the other way, we have to see what the way the behavior, physical response, assumed by the person as a consequences. Within the surroundings, with the employees and other employees, with the colleagues, what the way he has behaving uh, the natures. It depends on the just mentality, what the way has reacting is, and what is the moral and value systems, everything are reflected in the behavior. So when you are combining, there is the organizational behavior. So that concept has come. When you are talking about organizations, the behavior will also come in. It is the complementary each other. So jointly we can see the organizational behaviors. So first you need their concept. So first you have to try to understand which I have now discussed. That is the organizational behavior, and what is the scope of these things. That also what these scopes. Then nature of the organizational behavior. That is also one of the important area. Should know what type of the nature should be there. Then your important area is that is your open systems and the institutional perspectives of the society and organizations. There are internal coordinations are there. There are individuals and within the organizations people are working. And sometimes you can see the organization to organizations depend on this. Interdependency, particularly within the thick organizations, that is very much important. Then you are coming to the relationship between the society, environment, and organizations. What is the relationship? Because these all are integrated. So when we are talking about the organizations, so these organizations are within the society and the purpose of the society, so that human employees can work there and they have to interact with them within the organizations as well as they have to see the other environment also. External, it may be internal or external. And so in totally the society, environment, the environment and the organizations. So what the relationships, that is the area we have to study more. For the question may come like this way. They explain or discuss the relationship between the society and the organization. Another area that is your manipulable. That's when we are talking of the organizations or individual, especially individual part, then that is your manipulable study, the process, different process. And when we are talking about the society, when the organizations or individuals are within the society, and that's in a broad way, and that is your macro level study. That there are different processes. The processing, basically the processes are in two levels. One is your individual level process, another is the society level process. Just like the individual levels process we are calling this a micro level, and the society level process are calling as a macro levels. Then changing the society and organization in India, in Indian perspectives, what are the changes? That also the area are important. So in Unit 1, we have now this much important areas. If you cover up these things, so your Unit 1 can be covered. Now Unit 2, that is the approaches to organizational behavior. Unit 2, where to discuss the very different approaches. So many approaches are there that you have to list out the approaches of the evaluation. So another area is your concept and the structures and process of the organization. In the organization there are different type of structures are there. It may be a bureaucracy type or horizontally or vertical type or flat type. The type of your organizations are there. Because in your organizations, when we set up the organization, the purpose of the organizations are for the society and for the environment. Accordingly, they have to fix us the structures. So, depending on the nature of job, depending on the nature of productivity, the structures also be. But it is not a permanent because, as you know, that any business is not a static; it is dynamic nature. So, when it is a dynamic, so time to time you have to modify, you have to change the things depending on the scenario, different scenario, or we can say different situations. So structure has to be modified accordingly. So we should know the different structures and where the application of these structures and the benefits of the structures, what are the advantages and the disadvantages also you have to know. Then system approaches, because any systems, when you are preparing some structures, how to operate. So that you should have some systems. So different systems are that approaches are to be obtained or to be achieved on the different. You have to study that. Then what are the various models? Because in the organization behavior, then the different models, that is one of the area important. Then management of organization in total, you see how to manage the organization behaviors. So every unit, rather I can say in other way, when you are going for the study for the any units, when you open up the particular materials and see the particular unit, first you try to clear the concept, definitions as such, principles that you have to read out clearly. Then after that, what are the approaches, what type of the basically descriptions areas. Here, what type of models are there? What are the implementations, process, and all these things. Finally, and during this particular any unit, any chapters, you see there should be some of the problems. Means in the sense some restrictions. What are the resistance, or we can say what are the limitations. So all these things are you have to try to understand. So because of that, different approaches are there, different models are there. Because one approaches or one model may not be fit for the particular organization's behavior patterns. Change all these things. So all these things, somebody has to monitor, somebody has to manage the things. So last question should be management of the organization behaviors or management of the structures, management of your social systems. So everything where management part is coming in the last. So at unit 2, now we have covered up. Now coming to unit 3. This is the evolution of concept. This is totally historical part. Evolution theory is nothing to be things. Then only you have to read out and you have to point it out of some of the areas when it has come, what are the steps and chronological aspect that you have to should be clear about. When it is done, how it is there. There are so many scientific management theories are there. So there are 14 principal management practices. That is the one of the area. Then characteristics of the bureaucracy. As you know, the bureaucracy, there most of the bureaucracy are in the government sectors where the uh, lot of hierarchy are there. Reporting systems are lengthy process, but their accuracy, their joint decisions process are there. Mistakes chances will be less. So, but now is a time-consuming things. So this is one of the area important. Then social man theory. Then your behavioral era of organizations. So how it has evolved, maybe the first decades and second decades, maybe 30 years before or 40 years before, how does there, what type of behavior were there, what are the changes so far it has evolved, and in the present scenario, uh, especially the keeping in mind of the globalizations or liberalization process. So, what type of behavioral patterns are required? That part has to be analyzed. That part has to be analyzed and modified accordingly. So, basic behavioral movements, because you see, initially, uh, people are coming for the work, earn the money, and go. There are no development prospects. Initially, the owners type organizations, they are monopoly or manipulating the humans basically. So slowly it has evolved, and lot of movement was there. Based on this movement, now 8 hours working time was declared. Then welfare, well-being, and your union movements are there. They're slowly now begins scenario we are observing. They are all are really nicely organized. That organized, most of the organizations are really organized. The labor class are paying the money as per their rights. There are a lot of laws as implemented. So slowly that things are because of this movement, new human relations approaches nowadays, because human are not like a element, they are not an object like this way. So they are taking as a considerations, how to develop the human behaviors and how to their well-being, their health conditions. But basically, the consideration is humans or workers are assets of the company. That consideration has abroad, they are thinking in that way. So now this changes, lot of changes are. So this unit basically your evolutions, how it has earlier what happened and now what is going on and what are the development are there, and in the future how much it may go forward required depending on the business. So what are the positive advantages of evolution behavior? That is the questions, and discuss the point of the questions and how, what are the restrictions are there, how much risks you have to take it. So that part. So and in between lot of scientific theories are there. There are a lot of theories are evolved. So this is the area totally the unitary are for your what the way the organization behavior is, the history of the organization behavior. And here you see the process in the first within this unit, first block as such. This is one of the various processes. Which question about there how many processes are there. So we can describe there are 9 processes. There is a different processes are there, and you have to elaborate 1 or 2 sentences regarding these 2 processes. So this is the way this is the area the questions will come, and this is also a part of your block 1. That is, as you know, the need, the evolution of the OB, how there is a Maslow hierarchy systems. They need, or you can say the need principles, a hierarchy of needs also. You can see there are different tiers, different layers are there. There are 7 layers are there. the first is your physical layers where the Rotica Pramakan, you know, three things are basically required. Food is required, shelter is required, and you have to work. Safety, after that, your safety is important because when the first layer is fulfilled, then automatically it has been coming in mind the safety. Safety is also important. Safety means in the sense your job security and your health security, everything. Then after that, the social recognitions are required because we are in social elements. So we have to have some positions. So the social needs are also important because we have to live in the society itself. So then slowly the esteem, you have to feel something. Yes, I am engineer, I am a doctor, I am a supervisor. So this type of feelings are required, and so that you can motivate and you can work more in the organizations. So some sort of self-satisfied, honesty, dignity, all these things part are coming in the your esteem. That is also. So in the last step is in the top. It's the self-actualization needs. When you have to some spiritually, you have to. One is the giver and taker policy. That time you have to contribute to the societies so that you can feel happy. That is the last stage. So this is the important part. Now coming to block 2, the interpersonal process. So in the interpersonal process, there are first things are unit 4, that is your personality, values, and attitudes. So you have to clear the idea is what is the personality. So discuss the various assumptions, nature of the people. Then your another question is various model of the human behavior. Then what do you mean by the personality? How do you define this the personality? Personality does mean look as a 6 feet height and a good health. No, that is also part of the what of the part of the things, but its totality is not. Personality of the knowledge, what the way he has gained the things, it is his skill, his capacity. So all together, his behaviors, everything are falling under the personality. So development, personal development are also required because when your workers or employees are working in the particular company, so they have the personality growth should be there. Then so that they can develop individually and at the same time from the organizational point of view, health of the organization also to be improved. So various determinants of the personality. What are the determinants? What are the components? Or you can say what are the elements of the personality? So determinants you have to study for this question may come like this. Briefly discuss the types and the trait of the approach to the personality. What are the types of the variables and what are the traits? What are the qualities are there that to the approaches that we have to discuss and answer accordingly. Then for the leadership part, is discuss the problem solving styles because you see any organizations, any problems, the employees has to be solve these problems. So you have to have some that skill, different styles with their leadership styles are there. So how to solve the problems, that the know-how, the knowledge, technicality, and your conceptualized part is there. So both the things are required. Human skills also required. At the same time, the technical skills also required. And they are basically the concept of the things. So then you can have a good leadership styles. So what are the stages of the development given by the any directions? So stages, development cannot be in particular one shot. There are different stages there. First you have to recruit the things, then after that you have to develop, you have to training should be there, then you have to knowledge, know-how has to be given, and you have to interact with the things and you have to see how best you can do it. If modification is required in between, you have to modify the things, you have to correct the things. So slowly you have to develop the stages. So that stage is defined. Then discuss about the passive theory. See, actually here I have listed out what are the expected questions from the particular unit. What type of questions may come? That is the total cover of all the areas. Out of that, you have to shortlist it, which are the major areas, what are the minor areas. That you have to, when you are go through these materials and everything in the books, then automatically you can understand this is the major area and this is the minor area. So, influences that you see the personality, that discuss the influence of the personality on the organization, how much it is affect. Because as you see, suppose for example, if your new CEO has joined in the organizations, unless your CEO maybe resigned or maybe superannuated or retired, the new CEO has come. When the new CEO has come, maybe it's because of this one, his personality, the company is growing. Means what's the leadership skills, his personality, your knowledge levels, skill levels, everything are super. So that's why everybody are happy. The organization, all the behavioral patterns have changed, their interaction has changed. So yes, way the communication is also changed. So everything are falling under the influence. What the way he is influencing his personalities, that is also. Then importance of the personality. Why this is important? That personalities. Then attitude, and after that you have to say attitude, because you see attitude is very in the behavioral science. Attitude is very important things. Until and unless the attitude mood does not changes, then you cannot success. You cannot do it. Even though you are knowledge, your training is already given, and that particular employee has trained also, but his attitude has not changed, then it is very difficult. So that is according to that part, you have to clear the concept of these things, attitudes, and how it is important in the organizations. And what is the importance of the attitudes in the organizations. So as I just say, it is very important definitely, because attitudinal mode is required. Willingness, yes, I will do it. That type of chill, that type of motivation is required, and focus. That should be focus on this. Yes, it's my organizations, it's my success, and if the profit is there, then it is my profit. That type of attitude has to change, and the positive attitudes are to be carried out. What is the value? Value is also one. Value systems is respect, and some of the your recital systems are there, and here actually some of the you see the regional religions part is there. What religious you are, and that is one of the things. How to behave with the seniors, what type of value to be given, and your time, because in the organizations you are working, you have to give some value of time. You are wasting the time, that means you are not giving the value of the time. That is one of the things. Plus another thing is the laws. What are the policies are there? You have to obey these policies, organizations. So that means they are giving some value. Movement, respect the movements, and some of the follow the rules, and some of the behave accordingly. So that means you have to give value. Parents is one of the values there. Teacher is one of the values there. Your managerial boss is there. So you have to give some value for that, and like this. So value in sense it is really a subject. Means what the value you are giving the values of this. If you are not giving this value, means you are diluting the things. So describe the effect of the socialization of the personality. So what the way the socializations are affecting in the personality, that is also important, because you see when the employer is joining in the particular company, he may come in different backgrounds, maybe different his upbringing in different way, different type of schooling. His communication skills may not be at par with the present scenario when he has joined in the company. So maybe he has knowledge, he has qualified, but that development is not there, that personality is not there. So socialization is really important. When he is involved with, as a team, he is working and he has to follow. Every day he is learning process. Through this learning process, mixing with the others, group discussions, so slowly, he can, his personality, values and attitude will be developed. So socialization is really important. Means to gather, to mix with the gathers and see the others, what the way they are behaving, it is acceptable or not. Means in the society, suppose you are, some nouns are there, because when we are repeating something, you are saying some of the words, it may be not acceptable by the society. Means it's not good, not giving the value. So some of the words you have to present, but the way you have to say all these things are creating your personality, your values and attitudes, and that's why the socialization is process. But if you are in the simply sitting in the room, in the home, you may not be your personality, may not be developed. You don't know what the value systems, what the your attitudes can be changed. Whatever in your mind, you are feeling that it is a good, it may not be good. Another way. So broad senses are why in the organization point of view, because when you are in the organizations, there are different people are there. You have to behave with the supervisors, what the way you have to behave with your colleagues, different mode of discussion will be there. So everywhere you have to prove you are a good person and should know all these things. Then your what you mean by another, the learning and the behavioral modifications. So it is also important because the learning is one of the main important things to improve. Any improvements or development, learning is important. Training is different thing that I will say. Okay, the training basically the action plans. Right now, he is not competent enough with the computers. Maybe he is facing some difficulties in the computers when he has joined in the company. He don't know the latest Excel, what are the ways the operating systems. So okay, give it to some of the trainings 1 week or 2 weeks, some training program, and he has now skilled and he is capable now. So that is a training action. But learning is evergreen. Learning is a process. It is a continuous process. So today what you have learned, that is not sufficient. It may not be cope up with your different, maybe the business scenario, business situations you can handle based on this knowledge. But you don't know what type of situation will be coming up in the next times. It may be a difficult task will be there. So that's why the learning is learning can be your boost up. You can boost up by the learning itself. So that is the one thing. Another thing is your behavioral modification, because some things habitually is not changing the things. Even though lot of training has given or discussion has been, counseling has given, but still some behavioral modifications are needed. So that's some process, there's counseling process, training program may be a different way, discussion will be different way. So it may be the job card or different transfer, all this. So behavioral modification are maybe in a very different way to manage. So important theories of learning, that is also one of the area. Reinforcement. Reinforcement means to repairing. Suppose some things are in the building, maybe after 5 years or after 10 years, you have to repair some of the things, so that you have to reinforce so that you can be built further. Or maybe the column has changed in the buildings so that you can have another floor like this. Same thing in the human also, their behavior pattern or learning. Through this learning or through these your behavioral modifications, you can reinforce the things so that you can very easily, smoothly, you can handle the works and your organizations, and you can perform the work. Its productivity can be increased. So reinforcement is by virtue of training, it may be by the counseling, it may be providing some of the things, award system or motivation, lot of things. So different types of the reinforcement systems are there. That different type you have to learn. The role and the method of the reinforcement also there. Concept of the organizational learning, that is also important. Application of the learning process, then you're learning the disabilities, because disabilities are one of the work diversity systems. There are a lot of people are there, different categories are there, different type of employees are there. So the learning process has to be fit for them also, so that they can also give a full contribution to the organizations. Then what are the some of the learning disabilities? Then what do you mean by the behavior modifications? And then significant concept of the behavioral modifications. Then another area is the process of behavioral modifications. What are the process? What do you mean by the organizational behavior modifications? These all are basic concept ideas. Then the principle to be followed by the manager, supervisor, context. Because you see, in this process, in the behavioral modification process, suppose you are the supervisor or manager, under with you there are 10 subordinates or 10 workers are working with you. They are all subordinates. Now you are some planning, you have to behavioral modifications that you have to implement with them, some things. So before that, there should be some principles, and manager or supervisor has to do it fast. They should clear concept about it. They have to implement their own. Then accordingly they have to discuss with the subordinates who will follow the things. They will follow it. So that's why some of the principles are required. Standards are required where the manager should be. Manager should have this behave in this way. So then other can be followed. So then modification can be done. That's why it is written the principle to be followed by the managers and in the context of the organization behavior modifications. So that principles you have to note out. Discuss the role of the manager in the application of the organizational management. So OBM is called the organizational behavior management. So role of the managers and criticisms against the organizational behavior modifications. What are the criticisms are there? That also we have to list out. Now, in unit number 6, there are perceptions and the attributions. To discuss the meaning and the nature of the perceptions, when you are doing the things, how much it is, the clear perceptions are required, but what are the 100% quality and the quantity you have to maintain, then standards has to be maintained. Then they are all listed out. What is the then it is another point is your attributions. The concept of the attributions. How much you are attributed to things. Then what are the sources of the perceptions? How much you work on these perceptions. Systematic perceptions, the errors during the. There are one of the Adrian Farnham, he has developed some of the systems, how to create, how to identify the errors in the perceptions, so that you can develop yourselves, your perceptions in the relations with it. What are the managerial application of the perceptions? Then implementation of the perceptions and performance and specifications. So actually everything, and in my earlier sessions we have discussed everything already through these PPTs and the things. Here actually I am trying to focus on the questions. What type of questions become particular business. If you note down or if you keep in mind that this is the areas, then when you start the reading, first you just go through these units, the questions, what are the questions are given, and then after that you have to one by one, you see the materials and identify where the questions are located, and you can read out. Then it will be very easy, because until and unless you don't know what type of questions will be there, then it is very easy. Now, your some of the theoretical and economic aspects are there. Then the highest value of the social system, there are people. Politically, they emphasize on the institution of the power and the influence. In the religious, there are concerned with the unity of the experience and the understanding of the cosmos of the world. So this is some of the 6 points, types of values I put. The questions earlier I have shown you that how many types of values. So there are 6 types of values. It is already available in my earlier videos. Everything are available. You see the chronologically there. This is the I think the 6th session, an earlier session. The second sessions you can get it. The block 2. There everything are details. Now. Classical conditions, there are some learning and behavior, their distinct area are important. Cognitive theories, social learning theories are important theories. Then attention process, retention process, then so many processes are there. Reinforcement process, so questions may come from this area. Positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, then extinction, punishment, all are your part of your unit 5. Training is the process through which the people systematically acquire and improve the skills and the knowledge needed to better job performance. Executive training programs, the management training program, there are a lot of training programs out there. Through this way, all level training should be in all levels. This is basically not only the worker, every level training system should be there, so that everybody should train accordingly, and then they can participate. And in every training, their feedback is required. Feedback, why it is feedback is required? Because so that you can give a feedback based on this, you can plan for the next schedule of the training, whether any modifications are required or not. That you can input as an input. Feedback is basically input of your future program. Alignment is also there, one of the perceptions process, because when you are known persons are there, so maybe it is a favorable time. So there are so many things are there. How that is the error. Basically, it's the error during the evaluation time. So suppose those are known persons, so he has given us. It's called elevate. Evaluation of the another persons will be the basis of the attitude. Either favorable or non-favorable it may be. So stereotyping, then expectancy, projections, all are various types of social perceptions. Now coming to unit number 7, that is your motivations. There are the few areas are important. As well definition and the principle of the as I said, everything, any unit in the starting you have to clear about the concept, definition, principles. Then after that, what are the characteristics, what are the objectives, what are the approaches are there or not. This is the way, what are the factors are there, why these demotivating factors in the organizations. So you have to point it out how to develop the things, what are the factors are there are playing, what are the things are influencing in the motivation. So you have to prepare the questions and answer. Try to understand where the answer is lying. So management style and the leadership, which motivation factors and successful of the. So this is your unit 7 part, the motivation part. Then in the block 3, that is the unit number 8, there are dynamic, group dynamic and a team. You see, first again you have to define what is the group. You try to understand what is the group. Then what are the characteristics of the group? Stages, so many stages are there in the group development. When you are developing in the group, there are some stages of this. First is your interaction, then storming, then your identifying. So there are 4 steps are there, and there are stages are there. Finally, you have to determinant of the groups. What are the groups that you made? Then the effective team. Suppose what are As a effective team, what should be the characteristics? Various aspects of the building of the effective teams. Problem aspect of the team. What are the problems in as a teamwork? So this is the unit number 8 are cover up this much questions area is sufficient to understand the particular units. Then your unit 9, the conflict and the negotiation strategies. That is also a very important units are there. Unit number 9, definitely questions. So one questions definitely it will be from there itself. So first you have to understand what's the conflict and what are the features are there. Then various conflict. There are different level of conflict levels are there. How it has ignited. I mean, why the resources, basically the various sources of conflict, why the conflict are started, and then finally you have to see the stages of the conflict process. Here I can say some of the one or two things. When conflict is basically it is the undesirable things, unwanted things, who are not desired things. When it is not desired, means it is in your mind something are coming in very different ways. Irritations start. So first it will start the irritations, and then finally it will be discussions, arguing, and finally this complaint. So there are so many stages of this. So conflict, there are so many things. It will be conflict, maybe reduce the initial stage. It has solved. Suppose in the initial stage it is not solved, then it will grow, it will increase the conflict sessions, then finally it will be in the complaint stage. So it is prolonged. If it is a prolonged, then it is very dangerous for the organizations. Suppose the individual conflict may come to the individuals, it may be groups, it may be organizations. The conflict can be there. So now there are resolutions models. There are so many models of that how to reduce the conflict, because good organizations means there are less conflict. You cannot minimize 100% conflict. It will be inevitable coming today. Maybe there are no conflict, no argument. You don't know. Maybe the next month some issues has come, problems has come. Again the conflict starts. It may be, but you should have some good structures, and management is required. Some strategies you have to take it, so that it should not be revolved. It should not be come off. Any conflict should not be there. So before that, what are the areas, the routes are to be stopped, to be blocked, so that anybody's mind should not be in conflict. There may be some law and policy should be there. These special strategies are to be. Then now the unit number 10, that is the job stress. Stress is again it is unbeatable, because stress is usually there. It may be a minor nature, it may be the major natures, or maybe in the moderate. So stress, everybody has some stresses. So various types of stresses you have to understand how to prevent. That is the management stresses are there. How to manage the things. It may be different way. It can be through counseling. It may be some promotions. It may be some reward systems. It may be discussions. It can be change of the things, transfer the things. Lot of processes are there. How to reduce it. Maybe the job card, job design. You can modify your timing also is important. So that it should be reached in the burnout stages. Burnout stage means when the particular person has stress, maybe any reasons, that stress is unknown maybe. And when slowly it is in mind, it is not addressed properly, supervisors are not identified, then it is coming to the complaint stage. Even the complaint is also not addressed by the company, then slowly, yes, one day you bust. It's the burnout stages. And that stage is very dangerous. You cannot revive things. So employees should not be at that stage. It's not advisable, the burnout stages. Before that, what about the minor things that stresses are to be identified and resolved as soon as possible. Then empowerment. Empowerment is also important, because the employee should be empowered. Some authority have to be given. So that's why the different approaches are there. How to empower the employees. The role of the manager, in this case, the environment and your management interventions are required. So, role of the management are very important to develop the employees' empowerment. So, why employees' empowerment is necessary? Because if the people are not employed, so the stereotype what they are doing, there are no innovation, no creative will come. They not some fear will be always in the things when they are in the positions. The leadership skills cannot come out. So empowerment is really always. So many other parties also there. We have to go through this. That type of questions may come. How to measure the employees' empowerment? How to what the way you have to measure it? Discuss the advantage and disadvantage of the empowerment. Now, in number 12, the organizational citizenship is also important. Now, if the group of people are voluntarily or maybe selected by the organizations are there, they are expert on all these things, and that they can also now develop the others also. That is your organizational citizenship. It is the modern systems. That's why the emerging trends. So various form of the dimensions, how to OCB can be measured. What are the main issues of the organizations have to be questions of when the promoting the OCB in workplace. So all these questions are in the unit 12 for your organizational citizenship behavior. Now there are other questions also there. The characteristics of the inclusive of the organization. Now inclusiveness. Inclusiveness for include, I mean the engagement, other way you can say. So what are the challenges and the issues are coming of the inclusions? And inclusions in the other way you can say the give allow to everybody. To check some of the areas, some of the hidden potentials are there. Some of the employees are very talented, but he has not given in scope. So include them in the meeting. During the meeting also they can sit there, they can give their ideas, they can also emphasize their ideas. So barriers of the inclusions are overcoming. That is also important. What are the barriers that you identify and you have to, so that the inclusion process can be smoothly get done. And another inclusion part is that the LGBT, that the transgender people they are also to be included. Then some handicapped people, disabled people, Divang, this and also the so diversity because of the how to manage your diversity process. That's important. So relationship between diversity and the inclusions also the area of the questions. Then your diversity management. Benefits of the diversity management is also important questions. Then workplace discriminations and diversity. What are the threats and opportunities there? This is a very good topic, diversity management. Especially in our India, that diversity management is very useful, where a lot of different people, different knowledge level, different language level people are working. So there are it is a very challenge for this type of things. And the positive approach to the worker work behaviors. So always you have to have some positive approach. For that, you should have two things. One of the your spiritual intelligence and your emotional intelligence, SI and your EI. Both the things are required for the as a in your workplace. So in happiness, subjective of your objective, you have to questions there. What is the emotional intelligence and model of the your emotional management, intelligence and various applications. So this is the way I think I can cover all the blocks as covered. Now very interesting case studies. Case studies are basically the part section B in the questions you can see. Here case study means there's some paragraph will be there. Some of the factuals that the situation is given. Basically in this the situation is given. Here actually I have already studied. There one of the paragraph that the IR group of hotels, what is it? Chief manager Ashish is the chief manager of the company, is a Bangalore based branch. He was facing unique problems. He was facing some unique problems in spite of being recognized as EA client and hotels, which can be trusted for its excellent service delivery. So, one of the main problems of these hotels he faced by his Bangalore branch was a high turnover of his housekeeping staffs. Most of the housekeeping staffs, they are leaving these organizations. They are not. So every time he has to change the housekeeping staffs and again to train them and repeat. So since the past 1 year, which lead to his existing clients, dissatisfactions. So there are some dissatisfactions are there. Two to three of the hotels esteemed existing customers had made it a point to make a note of this in the customer suggestion box. So there are some of the customers, they are given a suggestions and they are put in the suggestion box that this is the problems. So Ashish realized, the manager, he realized that it was imperative to reduce, if not stop the house staff turnover as the part of question of the customers' dissatisfactions was adversely affecting the hotel's overall performance. So he has observed, if I not stop the problems, why the staffs are leaving these organizations? The turnover means in the case of the leaving the organizations. So then it will be a problem. Again, you have to recruit the new ones. So he has think some of the things, some idea he has given how to stop these things. Now see what he has did. Ashish actually was decided, Ashish had a meeting. Then he has called a meeting with the housekeeping managers. All the housekeeping managers, that's the HM, housekeeping managers, decided that the new reinforcement systems would be effective from the following month. He has declared, okay, I went to reinforcement systems should be there. I have to reinforce, I have to modify some of the things because the people are leaving, these housekeeping staffs are not staying here. So what to do? So then we had decided, okay, get an additional bonus, 500 rupees each month, every month I will give a additional bonus so that they can some motivation will come so that the housekeeping staff will be happy. And not only that, the employee had 100% attendance, have a performance rating. He just declared also, okay, those who are 100% attendance will be there, then they will get a 90% rating will be there. 100%, attendance, provided the employee and 100% attendance and a performance rating of about 90%. So one thing, attendance, those who will be 100% attendance, the performance rating will be also 100%. So that means their promotions and annual your performance level always will be 90% and above. Their marks will be 100%. So over and above the first 10 best housekeeping, apart from that, he has declared the 10 best housekeeping identified, and the housekeeping managers would be allowed to undergo training. So they will go for the training also. Those were the first 10 in-house centers and training and development purposes. So Ashish had Ashish thought that the above reinforcement systems would be more effective. He was initially okay, I have reinforced the things, system has changed. Now everything will be good. But since it would take care of the otherwise incurring the cost of the involvement of the hiring the new, because he has decided, because every time I am recruiting new housekeeping persons, so it is a cost effective because lot of money will stage, time is also is going up because losing the experience also, because those are experienced house personals, they are losing. So accordingly they are need. Now after that what happened? The housekeeping tasks was separated into vacuum cleaning, and they have also distributed their job also. Okay, you will do this vacuum cleaning part, your dusting part, your seat changing part. So everything has distributed the work also. and he has a the manager or supervisor were asked to observe. Yes, you have to see all these housekeeping staffs are behaving well or not. It is your duty. Now after that, I green and highlighted. At the end of 6 months, Ashish was surprised. Now the chief was surprised to see that there's no much changes. Still, the turnover remained, and the 40% staff are remained. Still, they are going. They are not stay. Even though 500 rupees has increased and so many award systems are there, but still it is there. So, in meeting with the housekeeping manager, then he called a meeting with the housekeeping manager. And he did not get anyone call the reasons. What are the reasons are this? So, those leaving the farm. So, I mentioned as the personal reasons. So, it is a then every time the staffs are saying there are personal reasons. Housekeeping manager is saying, sir, they are going as per their personal reasons. One day, when the Ashish was on the way to greet the customers, he overheard. Yes, सुनने में आया कुछ discussion हो रहा है. क्या हो रहा है? Conversation between the two housekeeping staffs. Sagar and Bina, they are discussing. So Vinay is saying, sir, my HM, the hotel manager, has said that he is happy with my person attendance and 92% on an average performance rating since the last 3 months. But he says that the bonus, although promised monthly, will be paid as a single concentrated amount every 6 months. So instead of giving him every month, 6 months. So it is the injustice. It's not should not be. So due to the accounting problems, he has declared this. So both the housekeeping staffs are discussing, Vinay and Sagar. So Sagar is saying these things, and Vinay is saying these things. Sagar is saying he promised. Maya madam has promised me that if my performance improves, she would be recommended my name for the training purposes. But what happened? Once again, she has recommended the name of Trivedi, another servant. So something is going on the wrong. This is not correctly. So now the question is, what are the contingency of the positive reinforcement? First question, there are again the schedule of the reinforcement, and third is your subject. So the questions will be there, then have to answer it. Now answer is here. I just declare. First is, was the contingency of the positive reinforcement suggested by the assist board is above the contest? So in that case, the hotel was facing a problem of high turnover of the housekeeping employees. The contingency of the positive reinforcement suggested by the assist was proper, and the complaint made by the consumers were affecting the operations systems. So the contingency plan suggested by Mr. Ashish seems to be working in the right direction. However, there seems to be some internal problems. So in the housekeeping department affecting the work cultures. So that is the first question. Second question is now, how do we feel the schedule of the reinforcement can be modified in the improvement? Yes, that there's a lot of modifications is required, because the schedule of the reinforcement can be slightly modified to keep the record of the performance record, because there are performance monitoring, there is no monitoring. So that is required, clock defined hierarchy system there. The complaint discussed by the employees can be overcome by these mechanisms. The feedback for farmers should be there, design keeping all aspects of the mind. All the customers' feedback should be deeply analyzed, proper system should be there, developed. So this is the way you have to write it. The proper incentive systems should be there, so that encouragement should be given by the employees. Third question was the reinforcement should be provided by the changing the behaviors, because behavior are not changes. So that's why the housekeeping managers, and the answer is the housekeeping manager should be made accountable for the level of the output of the complaints. The reinforcement of the housekeeping manager should be planned in the way that should be directly proportional to the performance of his staff managers. So any level of redress should be properly laid down. So you have to answer in this. So some of the things you have to take it from your paragraphs, and some of the things you
from your own. You have to write it. So this is the way you have to case study, you have to write it, then you will definitely get a good marks. So don't neglect this area. Session B is a 40 marks, so where most of the things are there, you have to write about the huge results. So this is the way I think I can finish it up, the revision of the all the units, and now the case studies also. Case study is very easy, so you have to go through this first, the paragraphs, very you have to scrutinize the things and highlight the important points, and while you're answering you can write it. So okay, I think now I have to cover up all these things. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.